Busch Gardens Williamsburg has an incredible coaster collection with many strong coasters, a great setting in the woods, and some decent theming. But which coasters were my favorite at this Virginia theme park? Find out in this countdown. Verbolten was closed for repairs during my visit, so I was unable to ride it. Number 10. Grover's Alpine Express. Tucked into the back of the Sesame Street Forest of Fun, the area around this coaster looks great, with the trees that have grown in. The coaster offers a decent first drop, at least for a kiddie coaster, and the helixes were a bit more forceful than I expected. It's nice for what it is, but it's not a super special kiddie coaster. Number 9. The Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge. This new for 2025 coaster offers a nice family coaster with cool theming and a focus on small airtime through the various drops. Up front, this is much better as most drops have light floater airtime, and I do prefer floater airtime. Still, this Big Bad Wolf doesn't do much as a coaster, as I feel it compromises trying to add drops while also just not being that aggressive or forceful of a layout. Hopefully though, families can really enjoy the theming and the toned down elements, but it just didn't do much, at least for me. Number 8. Tempesto. Skyrocket 2 clones are always neat with their strong forces and layouts, and this fits right into the Fiesta Italia area by being themed to a daredevil. The stall on the reverse spike is something enjoyable, and the hang time over the top, plus the beautiful drop, are just good times. Still, the positive G's can hurt me on coasters like this, and the simple layout is only so good. Number 7. Alpengeist. This is my favorite B&M invert, and the strong forces sustained through the first half are clearly why. The mountain theming is also a nice touch, but you really can't tell much of that on ride. You can barely tell what the various inversions and elements that you are going through are, as you're plastered to your seat for a good 40 seconds of pure force. Number 6. DarKoaster. Similar to Alpengeist, this coaster has strong, family-friendly forces throughout its whole layout. This makes this really fun as a coaster, at least for me, as I can enjoy the various turns and the strong forces that are thrown at me throughout the ride. Add in nice theming and a coaster in the dark to add that little bit extra intrigue, and you have something that I can really enjoy, despite that dreadfully long line. Number 5. InvadR. I haven't been a fan of Great Coaster International Woodies in the past, as their restraints can limit airtime, but they are growing on me. This layout certainly helps with that. To try and be more family friendly, this focuses on smaller drops and turns, though it still has some enjoyable airtime moments that are the signature features of GCIs. The heavy use of laterals also really helps in making for a fun family ride, as normally the turns on a coaster like this don't offer as fun of forces as maybe they could. This is an accessible coaster that I can enjoy re-riding, as it will likely only grow on you with each re-ride. Number 4. The Loch Ness Monster. I love this classic aero looper more than maybe I should, but it does so much work. The queue theming and theming along the course add that extra touch to a coaster, and then all the drops give fun airtime, as you're really flown from the cars. The 2 loops have some twisted character, as you're violently jerked about near their apexes. And the whole coaster seems to have solid pacing, as you're always doing something fun along its beautiful track. Number 3. Griffon. This B&M dive coaster is fantastic, with an incredible view from its main drop that makes it just a bit more scary. And the layout offers a few different moments of airtime, including a nice bunny hill towards the end and a small pop into the brakes. The drop off the mid-course brakes isn't excellent, but still solid. This does so many things right to make a tall airtime machine. Number 2. Apollo's Chariot. This airtime machine offers a great setting in the woods, as well as various large hills that let you float out of your seat, especially towards the front of the train. Some of the hills are cut short, such as the beautiful turnaround by the water with an enjoyable helix, or the convoluted turns towards the end. Then there's a sneaky drop towards the end that seems to get me every time, just in case I couldn't remember that this is a solid coaster. Number 1. Pantheon. Looking at these coasters from afar, I was kind of skeptical that this would be the best, because that swing launch only looked okay. And that's about how it rode for me, with little in regards to backwards airtime or solid feelings on the spike. The top hat is decent, but nowhere near excellent like Wrath of Zeus at Vin Wonder's Food Quack. However, the smaller elements elevate this coaster with 2 slow inversions filled with hang time, and some small hills that offer incredible forces. So, taken all together, this is a really solid roller coaster, even if the main elements could be just a bit better, at least in my opinion. Which coasters are your favorite at Busch Gardens Williamsburg? Let me know, and as always, Kapkun Grap.